looking at the reaction times from two different groups of people. So one is a group of 20-year-olds and one is a group of 30-year-olds. So we are given the information for the group of 30-year-olds. So we're going to go to Statistics, Edit, and we're going to type that information in. Because we're asked to draw a box plot of the data. And if we have to draw a box plot, then we're going to need to know the lower point, the higher point, the quartiles, and so on. So the way to do that is to type it into the calculator like this. So 256, 312, 332, 332, and 400. And then we're going to go to Statistics, Calculations, and we have one variable. Make sure that your frequency list is blank because we don't have a frequency. Everything just appears once. And then we're going to calculate that information. And if we scroll down, here we find everything we need for a box plot. So in terms of the box plot, the lowest value is at 220. Now, obviously, in an exam, you should be using a ruler. And we can see that the highest value there is 400. So we can also put the highest value in at 400. And then we want the quartiles and we want the median. So the median is 312. So if we look at the scale here, if we're moving across 20, each of these is 4, okay? And we have the lower quartile is 252. So 252 would be this value here. And then we have 312. So 312 is this value here. And 332 which is this value here. And then if we connect those up, and you should be using a ruler in the exam, then we have our box plot. So in terms of the marks there is 1 mark for correctly doing the minimum and the maximum. There is 1 mark for correctly doing the 2 quartiles. And there is another mark for the median. And then when you're describing the differences between the groups, there's really sort of an unlimited option of things that you could say. So you could comment on there being a bigger range in the 30s group compared to the 20s. You could talk about a bigger interquartile range in the 30s, and therefore the answers are more spread out generally. They both have a negative skew. You could comment that the slowest time is actually in the 30s group. The 20s group has the faster median. You could mention that the median of the 30s group is actually higher than the upper quartile of the 20s group, and therefore 50% of the data is much bigger than their 25%. So there's lots of different things that you can mention in terms of what you notice between the two.